Hey all, hope you've had a great week since our last video. This week we have something just a bit different than usual. The case we are going to talk about happened in the early 1800s, so naturally there won't be as many photos of the people involved as we normally like. We will do the best we can to fill in the gaps with what we can find to work with, but this particular case was just too good not to cover. Actually, next week's case will be the same way. It's also a case also goes way back, but is even creepier and spookier than this one, at least in my own opinion anyway. We hope you'll be interested enough to head over to our website, graveyarddance.com, and scroll down through all of our work and check out the ones that creep you out the most. We cover everything from spooky history, like this one, and true crime, aliens and ghosts, and haunted places and cursed objects. If it's spooky, dark, weird, or strange, we'll probably cover it at some point or the other. We also have a merch shop where you can get some badass Graveyard Dance t-shirts and things of that nature. You can find that right on the main page of graveyarddance.com. With all that out of the way, kick off your shoes, sit back, relax, and grab a snack and a beverage of your choosing, and find out the true creepy story of the Hammersmith Ghost. The Hammersmith Ghost case refers to a series of incidents that occurred in the early 19th century in the Hammersmith area of London, England. It revolved around sightings and encounters with a supposed ghost, which caused panic and fear among the local population. This video will delve into the details of the case, exploring what it was all about and what happened during this intriguing period. The events took place in 1803, a time when superstitions and belief in ghosts were still prevalent. The Hammersmith area was known for its eerie reputation, with tales of supernatural occurrences circulating among the locals. This background set the stage for an atmosphere ripe for fear and uncertainty. The case began on January 3, 1803, when a man named Thomas Groom reported encountering a ghostly figure on his way home late at night. Groom described the apparition as a tall figure draped in white clothing, emitting an otherworldly glow. Terrified by the encounter, he fled and alerted his neighbors about the ghostly presence. News of Groom's sighting quickly spread throughout the community, fueling widespread panic and fear. People became afraid to venture out after dark, fearing they too might encounter the malevolent spirit. The story gained momentum as more individuals claimed to have seen or felt its presence. A few nights later, Abigail Smith was walking home late one night with a friend. As she dropped her friend off at her door, she continued on alone on her way to her own home as they proceeded to come upon a large cemetery. She started to hear what sounded like a strange voice whispering her name over, and once she actually got up to the graveyard, she saw a spectral-looking tall white presence that looked like a ghost. She screamed and ran as fast as she could back to town with the ghost hot on her tail. She managed to make it back to town, and she told the local police what had happened, and soon, multiple women came forward with very eerie stories that all seemed to match hers. The ghost loved showing itself to women more so than men, it seemed. What was this entity, and what did it want? A rumor soon began circulating around the town that the unresting soul was that of a local beggar who had hung himself in the local cemetery several years before and was buried in that particular spot, and that he was coming back to haunt the locals because they believed his soul could not rest because of the way he had taken his own life. The town elders gathered at their local church, which is where everyone usually met up back in those days. They urged the locals not to go out at night, and most folks listened and stayed home. Everyone except a local woman named Martha Ross. As Martha walked by the graveyard towards town late that night, she spotted the Hammersmith Ghost, and it must have been too much for her because she dropped dead from a heart attack right there on the spot. It had quite literally scared her to death. In response to the growing terror, some residents formed vigilante groups to patrol the streets at night, hoping to catch or deter the ghost. These groups often carried weapons or improvised tools to defend themselves against the supernatural threat. The situation escalated further when rumors circulated that several people had been attacked by the ghost. The townspeople were all worked up and divided on who or what the Hammersmith Ghost actually was. Some believed it was a specter from the grave, while others believed it was someone probably playing a prank. Little did they know they were very close to finding out the truth. As they all went out after a town's meeting, a local man named Francis Smith saw a white spectral-looking ghost walking behind a row of trees. Anyone knows that ghosts can't die, but for whatever reason, he raised his gun in terror and fired upon the horrifying ghost. But instead of vanishing, the ghost dropped to the ground. The man in white was revealed to be Thomas Millwood, a local bricklayer and plasterer. Millwood's sister confirmed that he often wore white clothing as part of his work attire. Due to poor lighting conditions at night, combined with fear and superstition, His appearance had been mistaken for that of the ghost. Upon discovering the truth behind the sightings, public opinion quickly shifted from fear to anger. The vigilante groups faced backlash for their actions and were accused of taking the law into their own hands. The incident also sparked debates about the dangers of superstition and the need for rational thinking. Following the unmasking of Millwood as the ghost, legal proceedings were initiated against Francis Smith for unlawfully discharging a firearm in public. The case went to trial on April 11, 1804. Despite claiming self-defense against what he believed was a supernatural entity, Smith was found guilty. Initially, they were going to hand him a life sentence, but after arguing his fear and reasons for firing, he was fined just 1 shilling and then set free. So, what was the Hammersmith Ghost? Turns out that it had a very unghostly reality. A man named John Graham, who was a local in town, came forward and admitted that he was just a bored local trying to pull a few pranks for laughs that left the area of Hammersmith scared out its wits and also left 2 innocent victims dead as a result. No charges were filed against him, and from then on, no other ghosts or goblins were ever seen near the area ever again. The Hammersmith Ghost case left a lasting impact on both the local community and wider society. It highlighted the dangers of superstition and the potential consequences of mob mentality. The incident also contributed to the gradual decline of belief in ghosts and supernatural entities, as people became more skeptical and sought rational explanations for unusual phenomena. The case of the Hammersmith Ghost remains a fascinating chapter in London's history, serving as a cautionary tale about the power of fear and the importance of critical thinking. It sheds light on the societal context of the time and the impact that superstitions could have on people's lives. Ultimately, it serves as a reminder to question our beliefs and seek rational explanations before succumbing to panic. Wow, what a freaky story. You know something that is a lot more hyper-aware of ghosts than we are? Dogs and cats. That's why you should head over to eyesofadog.com and find your nearest rescue and adopt one as soon as you can. It's absolutely free to use the site. Just click your city and scroll down to your city or town to find the nearest rescue. If they don't protect you from the spooky ghost, at least you'll have someone to hide under the bed with you. So yeah, there's that. We appreciate each and everyone who takes the time to watch. Till next time, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and share the heck out of our stuff. The social media bar is on our site. Again, that's graveyarddance.com. Thanks for watching, y'all.